You're like laughing, like right off the bat. Welcome to our show.
Halloween.
Yeah.
You did more of a Halloween
You're like
laugh. I was just
the evil laugh in the background.
I was just chuckling.
Welcome to Left to Center. Kevin's like, like right off the bat.
Working on my laugh.
I just have Kevin in stitches.
Laugh.
Like, this is how we do it behind the scenes. Kevin's just constantly laughing. So.
Yeah, at City Hall, we're just like cracking up all day.
It's just a giggle fest.
Nothing's a giggle fest.
It's a
Sounds
giggle
like
fest.
A couple of teenage girls at a
People
sleepover.
when they get like a invitation to the mayor's office, they're like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be hilarious.
Going to the mayor's office is awesome.
When like an employee gets called in.
Oh, yeah. That's always great news.
I love the mayor's jokes.
Yeah. The mayor called me in so we could joke around. I always tell people in City Hall, if you get called to my office, it's not good. No, actually, if you get called to my office, it usually means you got another job or you get a pay raise. If you get called to Phil's office,
well, it's
news.
funny. So we had an incident. Of course, I won't get into details, but at the meeting, I said, you know, the only thing worse than having corporation counsel and the chief of staff meeting with you right now is being in the mayor's office. So, you know.
I don't appreciate that at all. You're like scaring people from my office.
That's good.
What kind of bullcrap is that?
I like that. We have
like
to
Kevin's
keep people
like,
fair. You know,
meeting with the corporate counsel and the chief of staff is great, but you're
I didn't say great. I said the only thing worse than meeting with us.
It's pretty bad in my book, meeting with two of you.
I wouldn't say that's a good thing. I wouldn't say that's a positive.
So I think we should stop talking smack about Phil because he's going to be calling in a couple seconds to give us
I cannot. Phil's calling again. Why?
I mean, his lock of the week.
It didn't even happen yet.
Well, he gave us number two.
That's part of the issue I have with him.
Yeah.
He made a lock of the week that we couldn't even talk about on our next show.
I know.
Except to say it's coming.
Right. So we got
to... Here's my lock of the week. You know, NFL is on Sunday generally. Like, everybody's like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to bet on Sunday.
This weekend, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, my pick is a week from now, so...
Yeah, like, I got a good game in November.
There's this... You want to hear my lock?
It's a big November showdown.
I know everybody watches Thanksgiving games, so who's going to say Detroit
That's right,
and Dallas on Thanksgiving?
While we're at it, we could talk about baseball, too.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about.
Well,
today.
I know Phil's going to be calling in. You want to crank out?
No guest today. Does that make you feel okay?
We're going Commando, Kevin.
You're going Commando.
I am going Commando.
Really? Who knows what's under that table?
No, going Commando meaning we're going guest list.
I gotcha. We are going Commando.
I do like the new format, though, when we do the beginning of the show and then we bring the guest in.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, we get to do a little background and talk a little bit about whatever's going on. I mean,
we could be jovial.
We can't. I can start laughing. I can start by just laughing.
We could get loose. Get loose together.
Get loose in Commando.
Go Commando.
Somehow the viewers are still growing despite
that's
this.
Well, as soon as Tom said he was Commando, they were interested in Tom being Commando, not me being Commando.
You never know. There's probably a couple people. Marissa
maybe
being one of them. Right.
Now they just dropped 10 when I mentioned Commando.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to Left to Center podcast, of course, and I think we're going to turn it over to Lindsay real quick so she can do her spiel. Good morning, Lindsay, the voice of reason.
Hello.
Oh,
so
what's
exciting.
matter?
Is that an awake hello?
That is like I just woke up hello.
No, I've been awake. I just don't really exactly appreciate the topic of conversation at the beginning of this episode.
What, Giggle Fest?
Commando?
Commandos.
Oh.
Ugh.
It's like, you're like, I don't want to listen
filthy.
to anything to do with my dad and Commando.
Yeah, this is awful.
I didn't think about
Traumatizing me one episode at a time.
I noticed John had his eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
and his ear and his headphones off.
Have you? Yeah.
All right. Hi, guys. You're
Good morning,
listening
Lynn.
to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while trying to have a little fun while doing it. If you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LOCPOD, LOCPOD. If you can't listen in live, download our episodes from the Apple Podcast app or Spotify app and enjoy our show at a crystal clear 297 kilohertz per second. Just search Left of Center and look for a red and blue logo. Also, do you own a business? Are you running for office? Or do you just want to hear us say your name multiple times and make fun of you on our episode? Well, you can contact me, Lindsay McDermott, on Facebook or on our Facebook page directly. If you want to sponsor an episode, I'd be more than happy to get that started for you. Also, if you haven't rated us on the Apple Podcast app, can you please do that? That'd be nice.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll actually read your ratings on the show. So if you want to rate and review,
I mean, I'm begging.
The good
here.
ones especially.
Please
I like
rate
the
us.
angry
Anyone
ones.
that's negative about me, we will we will immediately delete that. So I'm just.
I don't know. Lindsay might read those.
I will immediately. Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
I'm not.
You're like, who are
That's
those
nice.
people?
I'm not in charge whatsoever of the.
None of those
technology.
negative ones are me.
I
by the
couldn't
way.
even erase it if I wanted to.
That's true. So please, by the way, anybody, we have a lot of. I noticed we have a lot of comments on Facebook Live, which is awesome. Take the time to go on Apple Podcasts and subscribe and rate us, please, and write a little review.
Yeah.
It's going to help us.
For example, Roxanne just said, LOL Lindsay.
Wow. See?
A-Y.
Lindsay
So I
with
want to
the
tell
A.
who just did that.
Roxanne Saya.
All right, Roxanne. I want you to go ahead and subscribe and rate us, please,
Yep.
and write a nice little review. Since you
Write
have-
a
Or a bad
review of
I already
me.
can tell she's funny.
Mention
Yeah.
me.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
She's great. Yep.
Okay. Want to do some sponsors, and then we're going to get to Phil's lock of the week.
Oh, boy.
Oh, unlock of the week.
I wonder
if
Call
he's
it the
gonna-
unlocked. The unlock of the week.
Dude, Phil's lock of the week. You do the air quotes when you do it. He has no idea we're doing the air quotes, but we are.
He might be watching.
So, anyway, let's go ahead and do our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors. We'll start off with Attorney Alfredo Estrada at Burke, Costanza, and Carberry. With locations in Maryville and Chicago, Alfredo is one of the most experienced lawyers in the area of immigration and civil litigation. He is also available at the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic to help with DACA and immigration-related issues. Call Alfredo at 219-769-1313. Adelante con Alfredo.
Misprint Printing, with both Munster and Hammond locations, Rick Balzenberger and his team are there for absolutely all of your printing and advertising needs. They're responsive, fast, and good. Banners and signs of all sizes, from wrapping cars to business cards. No job is too big or small. Call Rick or Teresa at 219-836-2517. I was fortunate enough to drive the Misprint delivery van this weekend.
I saw that. You pulled into my... I didn't know.
And you
it
were
was
like, is that Rick?
I was like, damn, Kevin, you got a side job?
little side gig in the Misprint van.
Running some flyers
I
on the
enjoyed
weekends?
it. I enjoyed it, and I want to compliment Rick for having like the classic rock. It was almost like having the loop on.
Nice.
Yeah, he just was rocking.
And then you got
classic
to my
rock.
house, and I was cranking the Van Halen.
Yeah, well, something about Mayor Tom, huge Van Halen fan.
Yeah.
And obviously mourning the death of a great guitarist.
I loved Eddie, and I liked David Lee Roth when I was a kid.
Well,
but
let's
he's
go back
such
to like first Van Halen show for you.
I
'Cause
saw
California band, right?
Yeah, it wasn't 84. It was one before that. So I'm going to say it's probably Women and Children first, or it wasn't Diver Down. But I saw them multiple times when I was a kid.
Location?
The Cal Palace in San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I was really young when I went to their concerts.
Cal Palace?
We would like skip
Like
school.
in high school?
Yeah, we'd skip school
That's
and
awesome.
we'd like cobble together like 10 beers. Like,
Somehow.
and we would
Roll
just sit
through.
out there. I remember we would literally sit in the parking lot like all day. Can you imagine that with me now? I can't sit still now.
No, you can't.
But when I was a kid, we would literally go to the Cal Palace. It'd be a night show. We'd get there at like 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, like a Notre Dame game, and we'd tailgate like all
tailgate
day.
all day.
And I was a kid.
Wait around.
Like-
Shows at 8 o'clock, 9
And we'd have
o'clock
like
at night.
warm beer. And we'd like drinking warm beer, like hiding from people.
I think it'd be cool to find out who opened for Van Halen that night.
I know I saw a lot of really famous bands open. I saw Metallica open back in the day when they were just a hair band.
Nobody.
They're like, who are these people? And they're very loud. But yeah, that was cool.
That's a good memory.
Growing up in Northern California, one of the good things about that was tons of concerts. I saw so many concerts, and I never saw the Dead when I was a kid, which is one of my big regrets in life.
I'm surprised.
They played like every 2 weeks.
I mean, within an hour
Like
of your house,
constantly.
right?
Yeah, constantly playing. And I just never.
That seems like it'd be right up your alley.
But I was more into heavy metal when I was
Yeah,
a kid.
yeah.
So Grateful Dead didn't
Van
really
Halen was up
tickle
your
my
alley.
fancy. You know
Wait,
what
so
I'm
Van
saying?
Halen, that means you saw with Sammy Hagar.
I saw both. I saw David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. Yeah, I saw.
Whoa.
Yeah, I saw Sammy Hagar. That was my first concert, the Red Rocker. I was young when.
And you've actually tried to get him to Fest.
Yeah, I think we still
He'd
could.
be solid.
No, I think that's a totally.
That'd be kind of cool for
That's
you to
totally
meet
doable.
one of your childhood.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't so much. I mean, he was my first concert, and then when he joined Van Halen, I was totally geeked because like I was a huge Van Halen fan, and then when they broke up, I was completely like devastated for a couple years, and I'll never forget the first time I heard 5150, which is the first Van Hagar, so to speak, album they came out with. Why Can't This Be Love? And that was a really
Favorite
cool
Van
time.
Halen album?
Probably Van Halen 1, right? Women and Children First. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
The mayor's talk of Van Halen. All right. Well,
We got a hey.
we have a
I got
phone
an
call.
idea. I think we should start with line one.
Yeah.
We got hey, if I got Jimmy on line one.
Let's talk a little football.
and
Phil's
I got-
brother.
I got Phil's brother on line one. who's
Phil's
really,
big brother.
By the way, he picked
I should say older.
Kevin.
Big.
like Jimmy was talking to us this weekend, and he picked the Texans over, who was it this week?
Jags.
Texans over the Jags. And by the way, the Texans were winless, and Jimmy picks that.
And they were favored 6 points.
And we go to Phil, and Phil constantly misses.
Well, he doesn't even have one yet, right? I mean,
Well, he eventually picked the Colts.
oh, that's right.
And the
we
Colts
know what
lost,
happened.
right?
Yep.
They got-
So he
yes.
picks a game on Tuesday, and then he picks a losing game. So, like, I just want to sort of pick Jimmy's mind and
Is
see
this
if
why
maybe,
you're using air quotes earlier?
maybe we'll do Jimmy's lock of the week instead. Could Phil hear? If he's
Actually,
on
maybe we
hold?
should. You know,
John?
maybe we should have a poll.
Hey, John, if,
Yes.
if Phil's on hold, can he hear?
No.
I don't
no,
think so
Phil will
either.
not be able to hear this
Well,
conversation.
is he awake?
That's-
Is the
Everyone
question.
watching, this is just between us.
Well, he
Okay,
could
so
always be listening.
I just want to have a
watching,
private
but-
conversation with Jimmy before we go to Phil. Hey, Lindsay,
right.
just let Phil know that, like, we're going to be with him a couple minutes. Just say, hey, just hold on, okay?
I think he's fine just being left on hold for a while.
He's probably sleeping.
Let's go to
He
Jimmy.
probably just rolled over.
She and
I
I
wanna-
were whispering.
I wanna
I
tech-
think he's asleep.
I want to tech with Jimmy real quick.
Jimmy,
All right,
are
let's
you
go to
with
line
us?
one. Hey,
Jimmy
there?
Taillon, the better-looking, older
Jim, you there?
version of the Taillons.
Jimmy.
Jimmy, are you here from outer space? And we are experiencing some technical difficulty. This goes back to our expensive phone
All right,
system.
just keep Phil waiting.
Yeah, I think absolutely keep Phil waiting. Well, let me just remind people. So Phil's lock of the week last week, and this
All right, we're going to try and patch you.
wow, here we are.
We got him. We got him.
We got
We got him.
Jimmy.
Jim, you there? Hello? This is not working.
All right. Well, anyway, Phil's lock of the week last week was the Bills Tennessee, which of course is tonight. And the other thing I wanted to mention with Phil, it was a 1.5 point line. Now it's a 3 point line. So that's what we're going to talk about with Phil, if we can ever get him on.
I don't think we're going to get him on.
Well, let's
Doesn't seem
keep going. Let's keep rolling while they're.
So we're going to do.
I want to talk about an idea you had, which was swag.
Oh, that's a great idea. We were going with left
Of center
swag.
swag.
Yeah, like get like hats.
Hats would, well, I was thinking T-shirts for sure.
T-shirt, yeah.
Coffee mugs.
Coffee mug would be great. We can have them here in the morning.
Yeah, instead of the styrofoam.
Like we can get stuff for Christmas too.
Christmas left to center.
Yeah,
I want to
Christmas.
know from our listeners.
Left to
And
center swag for Christmas. Like thongs.
How about?
Like a thong. Like a left to center thong.
Wait a minute. So is like the. It's like
Underwear?
the big circle, the logo, like on the front.
We can have men's and
And
women's.
is it like purple and red? Like
We
it's
could have, like, the
purple on
tidy whities.
What do you call the back end of a thong?
the dirty end.
Oh, God. What?
Is this going to work,
Is
guys?
it a banana hammock or a thong? We don't know what.
We're going to put Jimmy on a different line.
Okay, we're going to
See
try
what
it.
happens.
Well, here's what I want to ask because, like, for example, if you write a really good review, why wouldn't you
How about
be able
now?
to get some swag?
Check.
Jimmy?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Jim?
Oh.
Jimmy, would you wear a left of center thong? I guess is the first question we have for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
He's got what it takes to be Jim's lock of the week. I could see it already. He's
Or a
willing
consistent
to
guest.
He is willing to wear the swag.
Yeah,
That's
he's like, I'll wear.
outstanding.
Where you model the left of center thong?
That's
That's a different question.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, I think you could do a little better than me modeling
Come
for you guys.
on.
Hey, Jim. We got your brother
Yeah.
on hold. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we've used him for a couple weeks in a row with lock of the
No,
week.
I've used him for one day.
But,
Don't
like, he's
give him
given
any
us-
additional credit.
He's given us 3 locks, and he's 0 for 3. He gave us lock last week. He gave us 2 locks this week, and all
I
of
don't
them
think
were.
you can call those locks.
That's
Jimmy?
what I'm saying. Like, so we're sort of interviewing you, Jimmy.
I understand you're looking for a new handicapper, and we're well aware of Phil's picks because Dad has now has 2 part-time jobs because Phil told him to put everything on
You
it.
had to
So,
mortgage the house.
right.
So basically, I've been betting against Phil. I mean, and I did it again this week.
Successfully.
He said the Colts are going to beat the Browns, so I turned around. I picked the Browns and won, of course. And
He
but
took Florida. He took Notre Dame and the points. We took Florida State getting 21
points. Thank
Yeah.
God we barely won that one.
all right.
So this whole thing with your brother is not working out. So I was just sort of like picking your brain because I heard your recommendation this week was take the winless Texans, and they won, which tells
And
me
covered.
Yeah. Jimmy, you're the lock. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't. And the good thing is Phil's on hold and he can't hear any of what we're talking about right now.
Not a thing. He can't hear
Right.
anything.
That's
Maybe,
outstanding. So,
Unless
like,
he's
we're just.
watching.
Is this going to make it awkward at Thanksgiving and stuff if you become our new lock?
You know, it may, but I actually do a little research before I make my locks of the week, so I don't go with a gut feeling.
Just don't
So-
wake up out of bed and call the show and say what you think.
Right, right. And then when I listened to the
Let me
show
think of
last
a
time,
football
so when you
team.
guys kind of asked him for another team, the only thing he can think of, I think, was the Colts. And that's why
Like,
he
let me
did
think
a
of a
Colts pick.
football team.
He did.
What's a football team somewhere around here?
Indiana.
That's
And the
exactly-
Bears already played last night, so I really got to think.
He panicked. I'm like, Phil,
The Colts. Go with the Colts.
give us a game. He's like, go with the Colts. So I like, okay, I got to bet I got to bet the Browns now.
Geographically, I can't think beyond that.
All right, but so
Well, and did the Bills even have a line when he gave you the Bills
No,
pick, right?
that's a good point. They did not. And by the way, the line's changed. I think he's got to live with it, right?
Phil has no research. He is not researching at all. But the good,
Yeah,
I mean,
he's giving
so-
you a hook now because it's 3.5.
3.5.
But, the good thing is, I want to hear what he does today, Jim. But we just wanted you to we're just sort of buttering you up. Like, I think we're coming your way. I don't want Phil to know this though. I just want you to be ready. Like, if we come to Jim's lock of the week, we're just going to seamlessly transfer into it.
If Phil's pick doesn't work tonight, the pick of the week that ended up 5 days later, Jimmy, we got to talk to you
It's
next week.
yeah, it's not working out too well with Phil's lock of the week. So we just wanted to put you on notice, Jim. We thought that was a great pick with the Texans, and I got my eye on you moving up. Okay?
Well, and the people are commenting on Facebook like Jimmy's the lock.
Yeah.
Hi, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You don't get this kind of stuff when Phil's on.
I think it was the thong. Dude, once we started talking about Jimmy and a thong, it
Should
went
I
way
create
up.
a poll?
when Phil
Yes.
when Phil comes on the show, the freaking viewers go down. You notice that when
I hope
Jimmy
not.
comes on, the viewers go up.
It's true.
I don't know. All right, we've had Phil on pretty a long time, Jim. So just keep in mind what we're going to do here, okay? I just wanted to put you on notice, but I got to go to your brother. He's going to probably hang up.
And
if
don't
we-
forget to subscribe and rate us, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
All right, guys.
This is
I'll be
free.
ready.
This
Thanks,
isn't
Jim.
just a
Thanks,
free
Jim.
show.
Okay.
I think
Hey,
Phil
hey,
did hang
hey,
up, but he's going to call in right now.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I hope he wasn't listening because I wouldn't want him to hear.
That's why he hung up.
I know.
No,
like
I don't think Phil could hear anything.
he's not
honestly.
listening.
Maybe he's watching.
No,
What?
Not Phil. Phil's still in bed, dude. I'm telling
Well,
you.
Lindsay did say he was whispering.
Okay.
Well,
let's go.
the phone's ringing.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well,
this
he's like, okay, I got to give him my lock.
is
you know?
awkward.
He
Is
probably,
Phil
is he
on?
there?
It's Jimmy's
Is he there?
dad calling.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Jimmy
hold on.
and Phil's
hey,
dad
hey,
calling, pissed.
don't bust us out, guys. Okay. All right.
I have
All
a
right. Let's go.
feeling.
You ready?
Phil.
All right. Hey, Phil. How's it going?
Good morning, guys.
Hey. How's it going?
Wake up.
Had a rough week with the lock of the week, huh, Phil?
Well, first
Hasn't
of all,
happened yet.
let's start with the number your producer gave me. Took me to a local time and temp machine, which doesn't make any sense.
What time is
whatsoever.
it?
Those
And
numbers
number
still
two,
exist.
What's
I
the
just
temperature?
heard the entire segment with my brother.
Oh.
You heard that?
So
What the hell,
All you have to
John?
do is watch. You
John.
can watch. You can watch.
John,
this.
I thought you said
You
you
can watch our
couldn't hear.
segment.
I'm still getting this equipment figured out, guys.
Jeez,
Great.
You heard
guys
that whole
asked
thing?
me for a lock. I gave you one, which tonight is just, it's automatic money in your bank account. You put something on it. And yet you're going to bring my brother in. Okay.
Did you hear?
Hey.
Did you hear about your poor dad? New mortgage on the house.
Hey, Phil.
You know what? It's good for my dad to have an extra job. It keeps him moving.
Hey, Jimmy's moving up in the world, you know. Keep that in mind back at work, too. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I got to watch my back right now. I see what's going on.
So, Phil, I think
But
I'm counting. I think you're 0-3 on locks of the week, which makes me rich, makes Kevin rich. But I mean, the whole purpose of this segment is for you to give a winning team. I didn't know if you realized that.
So, Phil, one question I have for you. All right, when you made your quote-unquote lock of the week on Friday that didn't happen, it's not even happening until tonight, there was no line. How do you feel about the 3.5 for Buffalo?
Okay, when that game first came on, Buffalo was actually giving 1 point. And I think what happened is some of the Vegas guys were listening to your podcast and they heard what lock I gave, and all of a sudden
It all
swung
moved.
quickly. Where they're
All
giving
the money
3.5
went on
now.
Buffalo.
Phil, how do you feel about this comment on Facebook right now? It's obvious Jimmy does more research for his locks compared to Phil. That's from Laura Wilson.
Wow, she's just like a normal person. Just like that's her observation.
Also, there's a poll going on right now, people. Who should give us lock of the week, Phil or Jimmy?
I just voted Jimmy.
I have a feeling like Laura sounds like she's drunk, for sure.
Oh, that is. Laura's one of our
Oh
best
my
fans,
God!
by the way.
It's
Laura.
90% Jimmy right now, 10% Phil. This is not
Okay.
going well.
Phil,
You know
people
why
just
this
want a
is
winner,
happening, guys?
Phil.
Because my game is tonight. And when Buffalo wins this game
Okay.
by 4 or more, which obviously they're going to do, you guys are going to be begging me to come back on the show.
Okay.
And give me my next
A.J.
one. Which, by the
Brown's
way, I
coming
have
back
one
for
next
Tennessee.
week. If you want it today, I'm willing to do
Oh,
it.
you have
Only
another
till
lock
Friday,
of next
fine.
week?
Lock of next. Is it next Thursday's
No,
week
we're
from
gonna-
Thursday's game?
I tell you what, we're going to talk to Phil on Friday about his lock of the
I
week.
agree.
So
Don't
his
give
lock
it
of
yet,
the week,
Phil.
because your lock of the week, air quote, last week was the Colts over the Browns. Of course, the Browns beat the Colts, which your record is perfect so far.
Well, and plus, Phil, I don't want you to give away your lock of the week for next week or whenever it is, because you may not even be on the show Friday.
Yeah.
So let's wait.
I don't know. We got you on.
See if Jimmy's
You're like
making the lock.
You're
of the
like a
week.
pitcher that has 110 pitches, and you're starting to throw a lot of balls. You know what I'm saying?
Again, a lot of fake news going on around here. My lock of the week is definitely the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
It always has been, and tonight they're going to prove that I know what I'm talking about.
You know
All right,
what?
Phil.
I hope you come back Friday and we eat our words.
I'll see you on Friday, Phil. Thanks. Phil's lock
All
of the
right,
week
guys.
is the Buffalo Bills giving points.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks.
You know
Phil.
what's not fake news? This poll result.
Yeah, what's that?
It's currently 80% Jimmy, 20% Phil.
Wow.
You can't really believe polls anymore, though.
Speaking of,
That's a good point.
That's a real good. Well, maybe. Okay, so the question is, do you believe polls anymore? Right?
When it comes to politics, I give them a little bit of credence. Like, I think they're closely. I don't think they're accurate, but I think they're in a general direction.
Yeah, I was reading something yesterday, and one of the pollsters I like to follow just because I think he's a pretty smart guy is Nate Silver at 538, and it's interesting because he obviously he had to eat some crow in 2016, and not
Right.
I mean, right, but he does like pretty in depth, and it's interesting that he said the difference between 2016 and now is that Hillary never had as big of a lead as the polls are showing Biden at now. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, that's national, right? And then state by state, you kind of got to look, and a lot of those are still single digit, which to me. I mean, you're talking margin of error, maybe 4 or 5%, and then it's to me, it's tight in certain states still, I would say. So you can't go, but I really enjoy following at what is it, 538, right, John?
Yeah.
Is that what it is, 538?
I think
Nate Silver.
I think it's like the wind. Like, I think a poll will tell you the wind's blowing from this direction, and it's generally right. But I don't think it's going to be accurate as how hard the wind's blowing. How about that?
I can go with that.
Okay, so like the wind's coming from the west, northwest, and I just think that polls are going to give you like general direction. But
Yeah,
it's not, and the reason it's not accurate, 10 years ago polls were extremely accurate, but 10 years ago you could call people at their house, you can call people on the phone, and they would answer it. Now, what happens if you get a number you don't recognize now? You hang up. You don't
listen,
even
right.
answer it.
So
right?
you wonder who is answering polls,
Who is
whether or not
answering?
they're, and what about the people that, or even more importantly, who
So
is not, who are
Who do you
not
think
answering
answers polls? Seniors.
Seniors for sure. Although, they try to get a demographic.
If you have a
mix.
landline, I agree, but like
Landline, yeah.
I don't know. I think types of people that are more accurate are more likely to answer a poll.
I recently had a run-in with a couple of pollsters online where they not a run-in, but so like you can go to like websites and fill out a bunch of survey polls and stuff for like politics and stuff, like who you're going to vote and whatnot. I got the same poll, not even joking, 10 times.
Really?
And I answered it. So like 10 of those answers are just one person.
know.
They're not accurate
See,
whatsoever.
So
Online poll.
the other
right?
thing on 538 is they rate the polls, which is interesting. Like they'll give them an A through an F rating, like whether or not he believes they're accurate. So
Right.
I think it's a amalgamation of a bunch of different polls, which I think is also smart. It's always interesting, right? Polls are interesting.
Hey, did you, speaking of polls, this morning on DraftKings, when I was looking at my win from last night's game, which was huge,
By the way, thank you. Chargers and over.
both of us bet
Yeah.
the same thing. By the way, I get home, Chase bet the
Independently,
same.
by the way.
I know. Chase did the same thing independently, the same exact
bet Phil didn't.
So we were all racking last night. But anyway, one of the cool things about DraftKings is they allow you to bet on the presidential race.
What?
State
Really?
by state, yeah.
State by state. Can I bet
Yeah.
Indiana?
It's a pool. It's not a bet.
Can I
like
bet
normal.
Mississippi?
But yeah, Indiana was on there.
Minnesota.
Mississippi was not. Minnesota was not. But like, there were certain states on there. There was 12 different states you picked. No,
Wow.
the national and 11 different states. Indiana was one of them.
Indiana?
Yeah. So yeah, I picked obviously. I
Wow.
thought Trump's going to win Indiana.
I wonder if you could pick like Trump +5 or Trump +3. That'd be cool if you could do percentages.
So you can get on DraftKings, Kevin, and
That's part of the problem is I'm having some issues with DraftKings.
what do you mean?
Well, I live kind of close. I live kind of close to the state line, and I cannot get on. I cannot log into DraftKings from my. I can log in, but I cannot bet from my house.
Really?
No,
Why?
close. It says your location is not verified.
Why?
Because you could, if you live in Illinois, you can't bet. Indiana, you have to be in Indiana.
Okay.
And so since I'm like a block away from the state line, I cannot bet. So here's what I have to literally do. And Jan was like, where are you going?
Kevin's like a half a block from the state line.
Yeah.
In his
And
house.
so I need to make a bet on Sunday. And I said, Jana's like, where are you going? I said, I got to drive 2 blocks over so I can make this bet.
gotta be
She was
kidding
just
me.
like,
God.
I think at that point she just shook her head and like, this
You look
guy's-
like a damn degenerate.
yeah, degenerate gambler.
Do you have
Just
a
so I can-
problem?
Like, I gotta go, Jana.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, I promise.
So
that was pretty
you're
bad.
silly, but has to drive.
Yes, 2 blocks just to make a bet.
You like go to the gas station. And
I may
bet.
have to change platforms just to see if it
That's
recognizes
hilarious.
me. Not good.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. So those that live along the state line and like to bet on football, I'm sure experiencing the same thing as I am.
So I just put up on the screen the National Gambling Helpline. If anybody?
Yeah, we seem to be talking about that too much, right?
No, so your like Comcast servers or whatever are going through Illinois.
Must be.
And there's no online betting in Illinois.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was like
that's
that when
fine.
I was in Arizona. I couldn't bet out there either.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
have to be in certain states that allow it or something, but Illinois is not one of them. So.
Right. Yeah. What do you think about Trump campaigning now, John? What do you think? Like, he was positive last week. Now he was at an event last night, telling everybody he was going to kiss him and
That
hug
was
him after
strange.
the event. He's just like
Did
flaunting.
you have any takers?
It's like you're flaunting. Honest to God, this is a
Tongue, no
pandemic.
tongue. How was the kiss?
But like
gonna-
seriously, the guy had COVID like a week ago,
Yeah.
and he's telling everybody, "I'm going to hug you and kiss you," and like, and I don't think he's going to. But like the fact that you're just saying that is just like you're flaunting a pandemic. Like there's people out there that are sick and they're
and
like,
they're in
"Screw
a
it."
hospital, they're in an
Right.
intensive care unit,
Or like I just, I'm COVID positive, but I'm going to hug and kiss people too. I just don't understand. Like I don't think he understands that there's millions of people that look up to him and emulate him. And like when he acts like that, then you're just asking people to act the same way.
Yeah, I think that's one of the issues. Is just a leadership issue, and I think you hit it on the head, Mayor. Is that what we want our president? I mean, don't get me wrong. Am I glad that he's not dying? Absolutely. Am I glad that he's out and about? Great. But I think he needs to be responsible. That's my issue with it. Is just be responsible about it. Talk about it that it wasn't any fun. But I'm glad I got through it. Maybe he had the best health care in the world to get through it.
Maybe he did. He had an experimental drug that nobody else could get.
Yeah. So, but I mean, say that. Say like, I hope this drug gets out for everybody soon. It helped me immensely, or something like that.
But it was his idea to take the drug. Now
Of
he's
course
got the
it was.
best doctors, but
He decided.
He should have done the hydroxychloroquine. He could have proven to everybody.
I mean, John, what's your take on kind of the leadership part of this?
I think it's okay. I think people have their opinions on what's going on with this pandemic, but if you still are contagious, right? Which he still is, according to if he's
His own
10
doctor.
days into this, right? Maybe I don't know. Maybe a rally in Florida where he's talking about kissing people is a little bit too far
Little flip.
in the
Flippant.
in the wrong direction.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, he's decided that kind of persona is one that he believes is going to help him win the election. I mean, right? I mean, it's got to be. That's,
Like it's not out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's decided to go with. And I mean, if it works for him, we're going to all sit here and say, well, I guess the president was right.
And I was thinking about this too. It ties into the Obamacare lawsuit. Like, are they pushing this because they think it'll rally the base, even though they might lose it? Right?
I would think it has to be. But I still don't understand how like fighting on health care rallies the base. Is it just because it was Obama's idea? It was Obama's bill? Is that really the rally point? Because at the end of the day, if you win, 23 million Americans and those with pre-existing conditions and kids up to 25 can't have health care anymore.
Well, apparently he's got a better healthcare plan.
Well, I'm sure he
That
does.
he doesn't want to talk about, right?
He gets to go to Bethesda. I mean, did you hear about that like suite he's got there? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I might have stayed a while.
It's a 6-room suite. It's insane.
Get
Yeah.
your staff there.
You have your own like nursing staff and everything.
Is by the way, just a curiosity, I haven't heard like Melania good. She's back. She's pot
haven't heard
negative.
either.
She
and
finally got out of decorating the White House for Christmas.
we
though.
know that. we don't. She doesn't like that. But I mean, I haven't heard anything. John, have you?
I haven't either.
I have not heard about her.
This whole thing with COVID. I mean, right now in Griffith,
Yeah.
Griffith is a town that's sympathetic to the president. They're a Republican-leaning town, and I'm not saying that has anything to do with the horrible situation that they're facing right now with
Oh, God, no.
multiple bars closing. City Hall has been closed, which is shocking to me. I mean, our Hammond City Hall has been open since May.
Well, and under a mask mandate.
Under a mask mandate, but we've been open and doing business since May, and quite frankly, relatively safely. I mean, we've had our couple hits here and there, but we have to do business. Griffith City Hall, I just realized, has been closed this whole time, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, they kind of had a little bit of an outbreak in Griffith.
Yeah, so
4
five
bars, I think. 4 or 5
4 or
bars.
5 bars, plus
Popular bars
plus
we know.
City Hall. I mean, which is crazy. Obviously, there's people out there that think this disease is not a real thing.
We're going to list the bars, but unless they sponsor us.
Oh,
So please,
I don't know.
Lindsay, make sure you call them and
I don't know if
get
we
some
should do that.
sponsorships.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
hold
think
them
if you're in
hostage for money.
If you're interested in which bars are closed, you could read the newspaper.
Check
It's
the
in
paper.
It's in both papers today.
Oh,
so.
yeah. It's a long list. As the fellow Griffith resident here, I'm in the
Oh,
middle. I'm in the
Lindsay.
middle of buying a house in Griffith right now.
Mhm.
And I live a couple blocks away from the big park in the downtown area.
Mhm.
So on Friday and Saturday, you could hear every weekend they have a band performing down there. A ton of people just walking around, vendors, like nothing's happening.
Right.
And it's so strange to me, like in the same weekend that they're having this people, thousands of people watching this band and
Wow.
hanging out without any masks, some with masks. They're also shutting down like 5 bars
Yeah.
down the
On the
street.
block. That's,
Do you-
Down the street.
What's your opinion on being outside with the mask? Do you do mask outside? I mean, obviously
Well,
inside.
when Brian and I go, so like the only thing that we're allowed to do really, because we're both, my boyfriend and I are very,
I like
very
how Brian got a
careful.
shout out finally.
I know, Brian. Hey, he's probably still
Only
asleep
took
right now.
18 episodes.
Yeah. I think I'm going to mention Brian today.
But no, like really the only thing that we can do to get out of the house is take a walk. And there's
Do you
not a
wear
lot of
masks?
people. No, we don't wear masks outside.
I do not wear, I'm definitely more lax outside with masks, but if I'm around a lot of people, I would.
Yeah,
What about
we
you,
take
John?
caution.
No,
and
not outside. I also look over at a stoplight every now and then, see one person in a car wearing a mask
That
by
is
themselves.
strange.
What is going on
That
there?
is so lame.
I will
also
say
dangerous.
though, I've forgotten to take it off sometimes, and
Yeah.
like I'm in a hurry, and then I'll eventually take it off. So
You
I
know
hope
what
that
freaks
wasn't
me
me,
out?
John.
When I'm on my bike and I see people on a bike wearing one.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
come on,
a little
man.
much.
You're going like 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an
Yeah.
hour. I think that,
The airflow will
come
protect
on.
you.
It's windy. It's like, give me a break.
If I was at that outdoor concert, though, I'd be a little bit stressed if there was like a lot of people around.
Yeah, if there's a
I'm
lot
not
of
going to
people.
be ignorant and like show up to an outdoor concert without a mask. That's
Well, I would have a mask
risky.
with me, and then I would hopefully be able to stand a little bit
Yeah,
on my
social
own, but-
distance.
Right.
They spaced out the picnic tables, but there's still like 10 people at a picnic table.
Right.
It just makes no sense.
I can't wait till concerts happen again, and we can just
Man.
sweat on each other.
I am really hoping the fest goes off.
I like when you're in a concert and some
Did you just say sweat on
some
each
big
other?
guy's behind you, like with his arm in the air and his sweaty armpits,
With his arm
like,
around
right
you?
Like I love the sweaty.
You know
armpit.
who I missed out on this year because of COVID? I had tickets to go see Alanis Morissette this summer.
Yeah, I had. How
She's
about
my
this?
favorite.
I had a weekend of tickets to see the Grateful Dead. Friday and Saturday at Wrigley Field, and then on Sunday at Wrigley Field was Guns N' Roses. I had tickets to all three.
Damn.
Plus all the fest bands. Those were going to be. It was a great show.
Yeah, we had great.
But we're going to have a good
Of course, well, we had Snoop Dogg, and of course during my congressional campaign, the other station said that was a huge lie. We didn't have Snoop
Yes, the
Dogg.
big
Oh yeah,
lie.
we lied for the first time in 17 years. We lied about a band that we had.
We did a terrible job with the contract.
Well, the person-
we didn't have a contract.
She's an asshole anyway. Like the lady that says
Ding.
that. Yeah,
Yay,
seriously.
finally, the
Like
first
that one bugged me more than a lot of the lies they said about me. That one bugged me.
Well,
I'm
you've
like,
wor- well,
seriously.
you've worked really hard. I mean,
We've had 17 years of
you
bands.
have worked very hard at making that fest.
And I'm going to lie about
something.
one during my election.
Right.
No, I'm going to lie about one of the bands just to impress
because
people.
Snoop's going to
Right.
put you over
What
the top.
What an asshole that she said that.
Ding.
And you know who I'm talking about. Seriously. She said that. She doubled down on it. And then that was when, remember we went through the whole thing with Snoop where he booked Hammond, and then there was
Someone in Wisconsin.
another area he booked. He double booked, but we had the contract. And I don't know if he was actually booked at the other place. So this whole thing went around. McDermott lied about Snoop.
There was even an article
Yeah.
in the
Did it?
paper.
And
Well,
I'm
the
like,
article in the paper was like, did he double book or
no,
something
but
like that?
she, VS at
Yes.
the other station was like, he lied about it the whole time. He never had Snoop. He lied about it. Like, yeah, you're right. I picked one band after 17 years to lie about, and you caught me.
She's got some issues with you.
Yeah,
I don't know. I heard you were saying Justin Bieber was coming one year.
Oh, remember that April
True
Fool?
story.
Good April.
that was a
Fool's
good
joke.
one. I'm going to expand on this joke. So this is back when photoshopping was very new, right, John?
Brent, like
I mean, it was.
Well, it wasn't
out
like
there,
that's
but-
Photoshop.
It's been
Yeah.
around for a while.
No,
Right,
but
for
when
a
we
minute.
did this was 10 years ago, John.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It was
10 years
before
ago.
people were like, "Oh, that's Photoshop."
It was
It was before
primitive
people-
version of Photoshop.
It was before people realized that Photoshop was a thing, that you could take a picture and adjust it, right?
Now every time you see a weird photo, you're like, "Oh, that's Photoshop."
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, in this one, I had an idea. We were doing April Fool's jokes. I've had a couple good ones here and there.
Mayor's famous for April.
So on this April Fool's, I was in Florida, and we decided we were going to announce, because usually we announce bands pretty close in time to the show. We decided we're going to announce that Justin Bieber signed on to come to the Festival of the Lakes. And we went so far as to take a picture of Justin Bieber with his arm around me, and it looked good. And we dropped it on Facebook, and it went viral.
Good work, John.
Right, John?
Yeah.
I think that was
John
like the
Vesmar.
first
Credit
of.
John Vesmar.
Yeah, man.
That was like the first of your like major April Fool's jokes that you've been.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That
Because
was a good
people were
one.
pissed about that one. Like
Yeah.
my God.
young women mostly.
A lot of my friends were kind of.
Yeah. They're like,
Flustered.
haha, Mayor, very funny. And then they voted against me.
Followed closely
Still
by
won
being
your
pissed there was
election
no
then.
nude beach.
That was the best.
Oh,
Nude
the
Beach was
nude
good.
beach one was
That was
funny.
the
Well,
best
especially because Chicago News picked up on it.
It was the best.
And they had to come off and say, oh, it was an April Fool's joke.
We
after
April
they got-
fooled the Chicago media. So on this one, we announced that I was turning Hammond's beach into a nude beach, and we said we wanted to be more like the Caribbean, or
Right, or the
French Riviera.
The French Riviera.
We
and
wanted
bring it-
a
It was a
feel of the
tourist-
French Riviera. And
You know, I get that all the time when I'm in Hammond.
So,
I
like-
feel like I'm on the French Riviera often.
so we have everybody on our staff knew that this was going down, and I was like, okay, I'm going to drop this, and I want you guys to share it and just talk about it like it's the best damn idea you've ever heard in your life. So like we had literally 50 or 60 people as soon as we dropped it. Everybody's like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever.
I can't wait to go.
It was super convincing because it wasn't just me. It was like a whole team of people talking about this stupid ass idea. Like it was the best thing in the world, and Chicago picked up on it right away.
Yep.
And they're like,
Calling
Indiana
City Hall.
Beach. And we had strict plans. I was out of town on this one also. And our strict plan was we are not going to break this until 2 p.m.
Right.
Right. And we all stayed hard. And like we were getting attacked by the media. Like, is this real or not? Because they were like, holy crap, I think this guy got us. And then we dropped it's just an April Fool's joke at 2 p.m. Classic. That was the best ever. Like we made, I don't know if we made national news. Did we? Like
I
it was
don't think
definitely
It
huge
was in
local.
Chicago for sure.
It was huge local, but that was definitely my favorite April Fool's
You know what?
joke.
We're going to be right back after a couple sponsors to continue our discussion about who knows what's coming up, but a lot of politics and some sports too. I'm going to talk about the Sox manager being fired.
Good. Let's go.
All right.
All right. Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Thank you to the Martinez family and all the employees at Tortillas Nuevo Leon for sponsoring our show. They have been the Midwest tortilla brand since 1975 and make flour and corn tortillas, as well as delicious nacho chips that you can find in your local and Chicagoland grocery store with their familiar red and white logo. Visit their website at tortillasnuevoleon.com for more info.
Smith Sursick LLC is a full-service law firm with trial lawyers that have decades of experience in personal injury litigation and making sure you are treated fairly by insurance companies. Give Steve Sursick at 219-933-7600 a call for a free consultation. He even does Zoom consultations during this pandemic to discuss all your legal needs. Don't let insurance companies get the best of you. Call Smith Sursick. That's Smith, SERSIC.com.
Hey, I see Chicago, state of Illinois is adding Indiana.
Thinking about it, right? Or
to
did they actually?
Yeah, no, it's not official. No, I think we are added, actually. We are added to their quarantine list.
Yeah, Indiana may be added to Chicago's quarantine
maybe
list.
added. Okay. But
According
still,
to one of our former guests, Jerry Davidge.
Jerry Davidge. I try to read his articles every day. I think
He's
he
a
does a
good
great
one.
job. But like, in reality, if this happens, like, what are they going to do? Put a roadblock up? And
No.
quite frankly, Illinois residents come to Indiana.
More than it'd be great if they stopped coming for gas for a while.
Agreed.
I love that in my neighborhood. Or cigarettes.
I don't want them to stop coming for gambling, though.
No, keep coming for gambling, but how about hold off on gas and
I don't
cigarettes?
really care about cigarettes or gas either because we don't get a piece of it.
I don't either, but I'm just talking about traffic.
I'm talking about the city.
Speaking
Hammond.
of near the state, living near the state line.
Yeah, no
Get
kidding.
a lot of them.
You
a
get
lot
the
of
gas,
traffic.
for sure.
But
Gas
is
and
it just
cigarettes.
me, or is 9 times out of 10, if you're behind or in front of a crazy driver,
Illinois.
chances are the plate is Illinois.
I hate to say that about Illinois drivers, but
yeah,
it's oftentimes.
it's just a
I don't
mindset.
stereotype like you guys do.
Yeah.
I don't hate
Sorry
to say
to all
it.
my friends in
What
Illinois.
do they call them? FIPs?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Freaking Illinois
That's what they.
people.
That's what they
Phipps.
call Indiana too.
Phipps.
They say the same thing.
It's the same thing, right?
Right. I went to Chicago just the other day. Marissa and I took Patrick.
Still love going. Really like, oh, here's the Indiana plates. Here they come.
They weren't complaining. They weren't complaining. We went to a nice dinner in Chicago, and I think we took Patrick to Shaw's, and
Nice. Love
yeah,
Shaw's.
I love Shaw's too.
Yeah. How are they doing? What, 50%, 25%?
I don't know. It was pretty high. I mean, they had. You could tell it's not as packed as normal, but all the booths were filled. So
Really?
yeah. But the tables in the middle weren't filled as much. So I think it's probably 50%.
I was in Roscoe Village, and Roscoe has part of the street they have like basically cordoned off between, I don't know what that was, Damon maybe, and like so you can go outside, but how long, right?
No, yeah.
I mean,
Coming to
it's
an
almost
end.
over.
Although Shaw's had a outside dining
did too,
and
down
with
there?
heat lamps.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
God,
So
I've never
there's
seen that
probably
before.
like 7 tables outside, something like that.
Did you go in the bar area
I was
or
in
were you
the
in the
oyster bar.
restaurant?
I
Oyster
like-
bar. Yeah, I love going in there.
I do too.
It's my preference.
Yeah, because it's like calmer.
Casual.
Plus, they play the games in there.
Yep.
And, yeah, we were watching. I was
All good.
watching anyway.
Love Shaw's.
But yeah, I think it's important to bring your kids downtown. I do it a lot. So like that's one of the things I was saying. I was interviewed in an article last week about this issue, and I said, like these bars are struggling. These restaurants in Chicago are struggling. They need Indiana money just as much as they need Chicago money. A lot of the people that work there aren't going there.
Not at all.
They're staying at home.
Look
So,
at the
like,
South Shore parking lot.
I think if you talk to restaurants in downtown Chicago, they would say, please stop bashing Indiana, stop bashing Wisconsin. These people
Are supporting our
yeah, they come in and
businesses, yeah.
support our business. You know,
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, Mayor, it's real important to bring your kids downtown and get them used to being in a big city. I think that's
it's
important.
funny. I hear people bashing, like my dad too. My dad, you talk to him, he's like, people aren't going to Chicago anymore. I'm like, Dad, you got to be crazy. No, Chicago's dead. It's people are done. I'm like, dude, I just don't see that at all. I mean, I guarantee you, Chicago will be booming again. People are saying that
It's
about
one of the best cities in the world. I mean, what do you think? It's just going to collapse? I mean, it's going to have some tough times, I think. if
Oh
they
no,
come back.
the commercial real estate market's going to be a mess for a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about, the stock market is not reflective of what we're about to go through. This is going to be the worst recession in our lifetime. It's
Yep.
gonna eclipse the.
But I mean, isn't that
2008.
more reason to say go to Chicago, eat, go to the shows when they reopen, make sure you support the economy up there?
Did you see Broadway? Said they're not opening Broadway
I
up
know.
until May.
I know.
I don't think Chicago's going to have shows until probably
At least that.
I agree.
But then, all right, so that gets me concerned about concerts too.
But once we have a vaccine, then we can start planning again. But
Yeah, because
can't
then you
plan
have to
anything.
decide how long the vaccine's going to take to get out, right? I mean,
Well,
all right, we
okay.
have a vaccine, let's go.
So going by the president's timeline, this is before he started thinking about the election. He said we're going to have one by the end of the year, and that seems to be what Fauci and others agree that by the end of the year they'll have a vaccine.
Or early next
and
year.
by the way, Trump just was given a vaccine. He appears
Well,
like
not
he's
a
doing-
vaccine, a treatment.
Okay,
Different,
but like
right?
whatever he got, give me a little of that if I get COVID.
Sure,
right?
as a treatment,
Okay.
right? But that's not a vaccine.
Okay, I agree.
Okay,
Right.
so
as a
and
treatment,
then
right.
and then what? You had Johnson & Johnson just stop their phase 3 trials
Did they?
because
Yeah.
somebody got sick, and so did
I didn't see that. Did Pfizer?
What's the other?
AstraZeneca.
They stopped theirs. So,
Wow.
but then they restarted in Europe. So,
Phase 3, right.
Yeah.
So it's
that's-
phase 3. That's why you do phase 3. That's why
Mm-hmm.
the Chinese and the Russian vaccine never went through phase 3. So they give you their quote unquote vaccine, and then you end up with like the shingles or your right testicle falls off. Or
Yeah.
something
So
like
they said undisclosed illness
right.
for a person. That's why Johnson &
Like
Johnson
I'm
stopped.
carrying around one because I took the Russian vaccine. That's not good.
Well,
they call me Uno the rest of my life. I just
Give
don't
him a
want
thong
that.
for that.
Just one with just
Left
the
of center
left
thong
side.
on
Just
its
the left
way.
side is baggier than the right side.
Left of center.
Lindsay,
The left of center bikini hammock,
banana
hammock.
hammock.
Did we decide? Are we going to do those?
I like that.
That's up to Lindsay.
Who would
Lindsay's
wear
in
it?
charge of
Do a
swag.
poll.
Should I create a poll?
Dude,
When did I
Would you
become
wear-
in charge of swag?
Would you wear
Am I
the left of
designing it
center?
A
now,
long
too?
time ago.
Oh God.
Would you wear the left of center banana hammock?
I am
No.
a no on that.
I would.
Of course
Nobody
you
would
would.
know. I'd be feeling.
How do you spell hammock?
HAMMOCK.
In the privacy of his own pool.
HAMM.
OCK.
How do you know
I
I'm
think.
not wearing a
Really?
banana hammock right now?
Chad, is that right? Is that how you spell
Dad,
hammock?
didn't you say you were going commando like
Oh,
earlier
that's
in this
Chad.
episode?
That's right,
You can't be
Your
vague.
imaginary friend, Chad.
Chad.
All right.
All right. Hey, daylight savings time's coming. I read an article.
No,
about
wait a
that.
minute. I remember when George W. Bush changed the date. Remember that?
It was the best thing he ever did.
I agree. I'm just saying, when did
He did it.
Did he move it further or sooner?
He moved it. He did it both ways, which is smart. He moved it from like September past Halloween.
It used to be in September?
Yes, it was early. We would already be in it before.
Wow. I see. That's what I was trying to remember.
He moved it past Halloween, and then he moved the spring forward closer to like March-ish.
So it's
like,
earlier.
So we're on standard time after we go.
shorter period of time.
It's a shorter period of time on standard time as opposed to the longer period of the year when you're on daylight savings.
So daylight savings time is now going to be, which of course
I think
is
it's
fall
like
back, right?
I think it's like the first Saturday night, Sunday morning after Halloween. I think that's how it is now.
So it'll get darker earlier.
You
in
do
the
Halloween,
evening,
right?
But it'll get brighter earlier.
He did
in
it
the
after
morning.
Halloween on purpose so that we trick or treat. Presumably, it's not pitch black when you're trick or treating.
I mean, originally to help the farmers, right? Was that the purpose
daylight
of it?
savings
So
was for the summertime, right?
You know what's really exciting about this year's Halloween, other than the fact that we're in a pandemic and it's probably not going to happen, is that technically Halloween's on a Saturday.
We're having Halloween in Hammond.
I was
I
just
know-
going to
I know
ask you,
you
is
guys
it
are.
happening?
Absolutely happening. Don't be putting
100%.
out
It
fake
is in
news.
Griffith too, but
Don't be putting
you
out
know,
fake news.
I'm not. Oh my
By the way,
Excuse me,
okay,
Dad.
what?
Can I talk to
Excuse
you
me.
about how passionate
you,
I am
Lindsay.
You
about
can't say Dad on
Halloween?
the air.
Thank you,
Please.
Lindsay.
You don't say that on the air.
No, she only says that when she's like mad. and
Excuse
she's
me,
pissed.
Dad.
Yeah, when she's pissed. She's like, all right.
Can I just talk about how much? Okay, Halloween is on a Saturday. It's a full moon, and it's 25 hours long because of daylight savings, which I'm very excited. It's my favorite holiday.
Partay.
25 hours of Halloween fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's great.
Where's Roxanne
Hold it.
saying
Is that what they're
Lindsay?
doing? They're doing daylight. They're
the
going to
day
standard
after
time?
it's on Saturday.
Wow,
yeah.
that's really cool.
So you get
Wow.
an extra hour
Wow.
of Halloween fun.
Look at
Wow.
that. Halloween's going to be a party this year.
I
No
know.
kidding. Interesting about Halloween and the city of Gary. I read the other day. Did you see this? Gucci Mane
No.
is playing the
What?
Genesis Center on like October 30th.
Oh, sick.
Dude, I love Gucci.
Guess I'm not
We-
trick or
we
treating.
had-
We've
this
met
year.
Gucci Mane and his fiance.
We had 4,000 or 5,000 people buy tickets to that show. It was a huge show. But like the interesting thing to me is this.
T.I. and Gucci Mane.
But the interesting thing about this in Gary is Mayor Jerome Prince came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago and said there will not be trick-or-treating in Gary because of COVID. And yet the day before, they're having a humongous Gucci Mane concert in Gary.
A concert, indoor concert?
Yes, Genesis Center.
Wow.
October 30th.
I did not
That's
hear
some
about that.
mixed messaging.
I'm telling you.
I had not heard that.
I'm telling you.
Indoor concert.
Yes.
At the Genesis Center. During a pandemic.
Yes.
I haven't
Okay.
heard about this either.
All right.
Pull it up, John. Gucci Mane, Genesis Center. I'm
that
not
true?
bullshitting. Yeah, this is true. So, like, you're looking at me like I'm telling you fake news, but it's not.
am.
But the weird thing is, how can you have a Gucci Mane concert indoors on October 30th and it's safe enough to do that, and yet the very next day the kids can't go door to door and trick or treat? I just don't get that contradiction at all.
Because the kids come to
happening.
Hammond.
What's that, John?
It's happening. Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
You pull it up? You think I'm lying? I know
And you can
guys
buy
do.
tickets to
I never
you can.
accused you of lying.
Gucci
Thank
Mane
you,
to
Lindsay.
perform
I
in
believed
Gary
you.
this month.
Thank
it.
you.
Wow.
See, Kevin's acting like
You're
looking at me like I made it up. On
I had
the
not
spot.
heard that.
I'm telling
No,
you. Like, there's
I mean,
things
that's
that are
It's not even like
happening.
a
in-
drive-up concert.
I don't know how.
It's-
Is it a drive up or is it an indoor?
No,
Indoor. It's in
indoor
the Genesis Center.
Genesis Center.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard of an indoor concert.
Now, do me a favor, John.
Anywhere.
Now, do me a favor, John. Well, this is a fact. Now, do me a favor. Now, pull up Mayor Prince cancels trick-or-treating in Gary. Pull up that article
Okay.
Is
also.
it sponsored by the city of Gary, the Gucci Mane show? Or is
I
it
don't
just
know.
a private?
I think it is, actually. I'm pretty sure it is, actually. Like,
Okay.
which means they're trying to compete with us at the fest. God bless them. They do have a good venue, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a good venue for
Sure,
concerts.
absolutely
And
it is.
I always wondered why Gary never got into the concert business. But the weird thing is, why are you getting into a concert business in the middle of a pandemic? I imagine Gucci Mane's price a little bit cheaper because he was not a cheap act.
Well, here's a little bit of a contrast, right? People have come to you and asked, "Hey, can I do something at the pavilion? Hey, can I do something at the Civic Center?" You're like, "No,
No,
we're
it's
not
a
doing
pandemic.
it right now."
Right.
Right.
But like, I just don't get it. Like, if you're going to cancel trick or treating, which I think that's a big decision. Okay, it's outdoor event, right? If you're going to cancel trick or treating, be consistent. Don't have a goddamn concert the night before, a Gucci Mane concert indoor, and then sorry kids, you can't trick or treat. That doesn't make any damn sense at all to me.
Well,
John, did you pull it up?
If we had better internet here, it'd load faster.
No.
kind of like the phones.
Hey,
still,
Dad.
still loading.
Selena in our comments said that we should get left of center face masks.
Ooh,
That's a really good idea.
There you
And
go.
you could convert it over to a banana hammock also.
Oh
Like,
my
you just
God.
said- what?
Why are you obsessed
Why?
with
I was
this?
going to say,
I am
it-
definitely getting.
This is like
Dad just wants to live
it's
in
like
Miami
a psychological
on the beach.
I do.
examination of
I want to be bronzing. Like the only thing showing is my
South
banana hammock.
Beach.
My
your left of center.
By the way, I want to break in there. The poll is too close to call on that.
Whoa! Please
Really?
vote.
It is
Please vote
not.
no.
It is. It's 8 votes for yes, 13 for no. I would say
That's
that's
not
a
close.
That's
Out of 21.
It's within the margin
20.
of error.
Oh, that's
so
fast.
you need you guys
fast
to
math,
get on and
Kevin.
vote on this poll because we might be ordering some swag, some leftist center.
I think
Banana
if Lindsay
hammocks,
is being the
I
swag,
refuse
the person
to
in
order
charge of
left of
swag.
center thongs.
Thank
But
you.
left of center face mask is a good idea.
I'm with you,
Selena.
Lynn.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
I don't.
Yeah.
What is
They're
The
so
left of
face
center face
mask?
uncomfortable.
mask.
I want a T-shirt. Thank
Oh,
you
no.
to wear on Friday.
We're getting hoodies, and Laura is very insistent on getting quarter zip up pullovers.
Oh, that's
Oh
a
wow!
lot. That
sounds
expensive.
Well, that'll break the bank. If you want our phones really to not work
Yeah,
very well,
have you seen our ad prices? I don't think we can afford that. Hey, John, did you pull that up?
It's
About-
up.
About trick-or-treating?
Yes.
It's canceled, right?
It is.
So October 30th, we're having a huge Gucci Mane concert indoor at the Genesis Center. By the way, Gucci Mane's going to draw it too.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
have thousands of
He's
people.
great.
Like we had 5,000 people at that concert. It was one of our most successful concerts ever. It's a paid event, right?
It was.
Gucci Mane draws. And then the very next day they're going to say, sorry, kids, you can't go outdoor, door to door and trick or treat. That is so lame and contradictory.
You have never canceled Halloween.
I will
Not
never.
even during a pandemic.
Not even during a pandemic.
I know
Dad
you've
is a firm
encouraged people-
supporter of Halloween.
Yes, he is.
I am.
Absolutely.
I'm strong.
Go by the
supporter of
mayor's house to
Halloween.
get a full-size candy bar.
Yeah, thanks.
You're good.
We
Oh,
did
God.
500 last year.
I think you'll do that many this year.
We
And I
do.
think you're right. Social distance, wear masks. Be careful around other trick-or-treaters.
And by the
You're-
way, like we will try to scare the crap out of your kids, like we always do.
Unless
Right,
they're
Lynn?
super tiny.
Like you're running around in a banana hammock screaming, I have COVID.
That's right.
Maybe you can do
I
that.
have COVID. That's funny. That's a good
That'll
one.
be on the front page.
By the way,
I have COVID.
incorporating COVID into your Halloween is smart. Like
There's gonna be
COVID
so
patient
many
just have them
plague
like sitting there.
victims this
No,
year.
we don't want to make fun because too much fun.
Yeah,
On
that's-
Halloween,
people
though.
are
It's
dying,
Halloween,
Dad.
dude. I don't know if you know that.
We surpassed 200,000 deaths in the United States, so we
I
probably
know.
shouldn't do
It's
that.
very sad.
You know, my favorite thing about Halloween is when Dad buys a ton of candy before anybody shows up, and then halfway through, like 2 hours before it ends, we run out of candy,
Oh man.
and then somebody has
We're-
to run to the store
Or
and
like-
buy more.
You know how everybody sells the candy
school
bars
candy
for school,
Right.
We start busting into that.
Wow.
Oh man.
Like go into the closet.
Dude, if you come to my
Patrick,
house,
go to the pantry.
if you come to our house and you're getting like gum or something,
Get the Sally Mae out. Let's
yeah,
go.
we're on fumes. We're on fumes. Yeah, it's busy.
Speaking of your house, great work this weekend. That was quite a
that was cool, wasn't it?
sign experience.
That was when you were driving the misprint.
Yes,
truck.
thank you, Rick, for letting me drive the misprint.
Did I
truck.
look totally shocked when you pulled up?
Yes.
I was like, why is there
I
a
beeped the
misprint?
horn.
I
You were
know.
like, who is
why
it?
is there a misprint truck pulling in my? And then
Little did you know,
was
I
like,
had
damn.
400 signs in the back.
So we sat there, cranked Van Halen, and put the signs together, and then we put.
Thank you,
hundreds of
Councilman
signs.
Werpel. Thank you, Tony Hopprich. Teamsters were in the. Teamsters were there represented by Tony Hopprich.
Yeah, so we had
Councilman Dave Werpel, city
Right.
chairman.
you and me,
We put it
And
together
Patrick.
a lot. And Patrick, thank you, Pat.
Pete Tricky.
I have that. I
Yeah,
have a
man.
video actually. Of
Oh,
this.
throw it
Yeah.
up! Throw it
Yeah.
up!
We were
Damn,
playing.
That's a lot of signs.
We were playing. Yeah, by the way, they're all pretty much gone too. So
my God.
the great thing is people are getting used to grabbing signs out of my front yard.
Well, I thought that was a great idea, right?
I think so too.
You threw Biden signs up. You had Jonathan Weisapple, one of our former
Yeah.
guests, up. You had Woody Myers, another one of our
The
former
Woody
guests
Myers
up.
signs
Oh
went
my
like crazy. I couldn't believe it. They're mostly. I mean, seriously, I have like 10, 12 signs left.
By the way, good work on the filming. It
What's
was,
that?
I think you did a good job on the panoramic
Oh, yeah.
filming of the signs.
What are you drinking in there, Kevin?
Actually, Marissa provided me with a,
Uh-oh.
I think, Revolution.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, you were drinking.
I had a beer.
I don't day drink.
That was after I drove the misprint van, Rick. Don't worry. It was not. It was after I'd returned it and
Yeah, right.
drove my own car back.
Damn, that's a lot of signs.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
and
I know.
they were gone. I mean, so many of them are gone by the end of the day. I
Yeah.
went by yesterday and grabbed some Woody Myers, Linda Lawson signs. And,
They're pretty much gone now.
They are
Pretty
they're
much
moving.
all
There's
gone.
Tony. There's the Teamster.
Yeah.
So we had. So what else we got? I know we've been just sort of bouncing around. You know, this is nothing to make light of. It's just something that's really scary is going on with the violence. Obviously, we have a lot of violence on the south side of Chicago and through Northwest Indiana. It seems like right now in Gary, they're having a real bad time. 45 homicides so far this year. And yesterday, a daycare got shot at.
That was a couple days ago. Yeah,
Couple days
I heard
ago.
it on Broadway, which is
That's-
real sad and scary. I mean, obviously, I don't think the daycare was targeted.
No, it was just like
It's just
sprayed.
in the way. You
and
know,
then the facade was hit. And
yeah, I mean, if you had I mean, that's scary, right? As a parent,
are you
I mean,
kidding?
I
It's
can't even
freaking
imagine.
horribly scary. I mean, it's just, you know, there's something wrong with America right now. Everybody's so angry.
Yeah, I mean, when we had Councilman Godwin on, I mean, he had some pretty thoughtful, commentary about that. It's like kind of like the lack of respect for life, lack of respect for, what you're doing and how dangerous your actions are because, bad things happen. If you're going to spray bullets around the middle of Broadway,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so disrespectful and so dangerous. It's just, I just shake my head.
I thought Councilman Godwin did a great job on the show.
It was great. I mean, he was really thoughtful, and I thought his comments about, I think actually one of the things I really took away from that was both you and he shared that experience of, coming and governing an area where you're not from necessarily. I mean,
He understood what I was saying.
yeah, and it's just a fresh set of eyes. And you said, look,
You look at things
I see,
differently.
yeah, and I think that's one of the things, Mayor, and I've been in meetings with you, and it's just sometimes you see things just differently because you haven't seen the same block for 40 years like I
Right,
have,
right.
right? Which is interesting. I think it's a great, interesting way to see things. It's sometimes sometimes I think a good thing.
I did not like how he said that he wasn't interested in running for mayor. I didn't think that was wise on his part. I think you should always leave it out there. A young, smart guy like him. I mean, look at his credentials, and he's doing a good job. Why wouldn't you say? I think he's worried right now because he's getting some blowback on the security detail issue he brought up regarding the mayor. But like for him to say, I'm closing the door on running for mayor, I just thought that was a little.
Maybe now. I mean, people change their minds, and maybe he just meant this next time around. Maybe he's saying maybe in a couple more years I'll do it. Who knows? But I hear you, right? I think it's.
I don't think those words should ever. You shouldn't close the door on anything. Like if people ask me what my future is right now, I'm not saying
president.
Yeah, I do. I jokingly say president, but like seriously, like I'm not closing the door on anything.
Why would you?
Will there be a rematch between Frank and I? There could be, right? Will I run for something else? Maybe I retire. Who knows, right? I'm not closing the door on anything. And I think a lot of it's going to be determined what happens on November 3rd, because I think that's going to either close a lot of doors or open a lot of doors depending on the outcome.
I'm just happy you're still our mayor.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that's widely shared. Well,
I don't know.
I know you're happy.
Has the thong talk helped that or hurt it?
It's dying down for sure.
Well, there's a poll up right now.
Oh, another one?
What kind of left of center swag would you buy? Overwhelmingly, hoodie.
Of course. The most expensive one.
Yeah.
Lens?
We are going to launch a fashion line, a left of center.
We're going to go into
line.
bankruptcy over the hoodie line.
Follow up is face
Everything's
mask.
going to be black. I like black hoodies.
What?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't like black hoodies. I want gray.
I agree.
What?
Yeah.
We could do a
Black
variety.
hoodies are lame.
What if
I
like
would
the
never
writing
wear-
had the gradients?
This is getting real expensive, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's get 50.
You would never wear
Let's
what?
give 10 colors.
What would you
right.
never wear? A black hoodie?
I mean, I would,
Not
but it's
really.
not my preference.
I don't wear black very often, unless it's a suit or something.
See, that's a shame because it's the best color.
And see, this is
obviously.
Yeah.
see how that it's your daughter too. Isn't
well,
that
people
funny?
also want face
It's like
masks.
the only color
I
I
think
wear.
left to center face mask is real smart.
By the way, thong lost.
Thong lost.
Just FYI.
I wouldn't say it lost. I mean, people voted for
All right,
it.
it's in fourth out of
If you
4.
came in
They're
fourth,
going
is
to buy
that
it
a
for the
loss?
novelty.
Out of 4, yes.
Okay, so T-shirts took third, so we're not doing T-shirts.
How do you
anymore.
define
Well, no,
lost,
here's
John?
the issues. You could only vote for one. I would have voted for T-shirts, mask, and hoodie
Right.
if I could, but you could only choose one. So I think that's why.
Thong's a great idea.
I think I'll
Maybe
buy you
tidy
one
whities.
for the novelty, and that's it. We
Wear
could
it
put
out-
it in like a
But
little
look- over your
display
pants.
Look
case.
it. You could take this
no,
face mask
no.
and convert it into
No,
a thong.
do not
You just
do
put
that.
one leg through each side, and
It
then
doesn't
boop,
work very
they
well.
cup them. Yeah, it would work.
That's hilarious
would
that
not
you
work.
think your thighs
you need
will fit through
you
that.
need bigger.
Oh my God.
straps right here, right? So you
Didn't you-
put your legs through each strap, and then you cup your testicles with the face mask.
Aren't you always saying how
Right,
like
perfect.
nice and big and strong your legs are, and they're going to fit
I know
through that?
my legs would not fit.
He's
through
got
there.
twig
Yours
legs.
probably would though.
They might.
Your package would probably fit in there too. Come to think of it. So.
Jesus Christ.
Can we please?
Speaking of legs, we have a
Yes.
photo of Kevin.
What are you
from
running
this
for,
weekend.
president?
There's a photo of Kevin from this weekend.
I
How'd
look
that go,
really,
Kevin?
really exhausted.
What did
do
you
you-
do this weekend?
Kudos, by the way, to the Delta House at the University of Pittsburgh and Caitlin Kennedy, whose parents we all know, John and Rose Kennedy from St. John, good friends, Hammond and East Chicago folks who live in
Yeah.
St. John now. And Caitlin's sorority did a kind of prevent child abuse virtual 5K, but we took it to heart and did it in person with a couple of your brothers and your sister-in-law.
My brother Aaron didn't run.
No, he didn't. He had the kids.
Brett ran.
Brett did. So it was fun, and
Yeah.
we had a good time. It was very exhausting on me, but I survived. And we had a nice lunch afterward and watched some football
I did
outside.
15 miles on my mountain bike in exchange, and then I met for lunch.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it out. We missed you. We were
What's a 10K? 6
miles. 6.2.
5 miles is how many K?
3.1. 5K is
so
3.1.
so I did a 10K.
You did more. You did 6.2 is you did 15 miles. It
Nice.
did like I don't know what that would be.
20K.
20K.
Good. I did a 20K.
There you
See,
go.
there you go.
Good work.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
but
really
on your
nice.
bike, right?
Well, you've been saying your knee's been
But
acting
yeah,
up.
I
man.
jacked up. It feels better now, but I did jack up my knee last week.
From running.
I was getting a little nervous about that. It just like started blowing up my left knee too. I usually have problems with my right knee, but I was running on an incline. I think I screwed it up. So,
Take it easy. No 5Ks for you.
by the way, Kevin, you were right about the White Sox manager, Rick Renteria, got fired.
Yeah, I thought that was coming. I really did. I think, and I saw Steve Stone, who I love Steve Stone. His comments were like, "Hey, Ricky Renteria is a great guy. I wish him the best. The Sox need a manager that can deal with their pitching staff and make smart decisions."
You
Which
think
is exactly
Steve
kind of
Stone-
what we thought.
You think
about.
he wants it?
You know what?
He tried.
We always said that back when he was doing the Cubs broadcasting. I don't think he wants it. I think he likes his situation. I don't think he wants to be. I don't think he's like a let's hang out with the guys type of person. He just seems like kind of his own, thoughtful, intellectual type of.
Another coach that was fired because they're horrible coaching decisions.
Yeah,
Falcons.
Atlanta how could you even let? I can't imagine they let him go after the Dallas. They let him live the Dallas game out,
and then the Dallas, and then the Bears. Like they should be 2-2 worst case scenario instead of 0-4. Like 0-4, you're done.
I don't know if it's the defense. I don't know if it's bad calls, but
it's defense. It's
Falcons
bad calls.
Coach. By the way, I was real impressed with Justin Herbert. That kid.
Yeah.
Like they got rid of Rivers.
Yeah.
And it's like I mean they're not like winning games.
He
They're
was
1-3.
an Oregon quarterback, right?
He was Oregon. You're right. Yeah, I mean,
right.
What an arm. Phenomenal. That touchdown pass that we watched,
Dude,
Keenan Allen.
He's really good.
He is going to be a good.
Yeah, Chargers, they're solid. They got a lot of Notre Dame guys, too.
Yeah, Tillery and a couple other ones. But
yeah.
All right. Well, Mayor?
Well, we got the
Commando with Commando.
Yeah, Commando. Going Commando today. But who's our guest on Friday? We got Bernie Carter? That's outstanding. Lake
Good
County
timing.
Prosecutor. I will not talk about the left of center
Thank you.
thong with Bernie Carter in the studio.
I appreciate that.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
You know what,
keep
though?
it serious.
Let's talk about the kind of uptick in violence. I'd like to hear his
That's a great
take
We're
on
going to
that.
bring up the Gary situation with Bernie. We'll talk to, I think it's going to be interesting to talk to Bernie about, for those of you that aren't aware, Mr. Carter is an African-American. He's been a lawyer and a prosecutor for decades.
Yep, 30 years probably.
For decades. He was a judge before he was prosecutor too.
Briefly.
So like this gentleman has a great history. He's been doing a great job in Northwest Indiana for a long time. And I imagine...
And he's a law and order guy, but I still want to talk to him about like social justice
His
issues.
perspective as an African-American prosecutor is going to be an interesting thing. But I'm looking forward to Bernie. I'm going to ask him also about his stance on cannabis and see how he feels about that issue.
Be interesting too.
Especially with right next door. I mean, literally, if we went 5 miles from where we are right now, we could buy cannabis legally. And then as soon as you drive into Indiana, it's illegal.
Since I can't get DraftKings at my house, do you think it's legal to buy marijuana at my house?
That's interesting.
Since the Comcast servers think it's in Illinois.
You should have it delivered.
I'd just be like, I can't gamble here. They treat me like Illinois.
So have them deliver it to the gas station across the street from your
set up my
house.
own shop. Can I get my license?
Maybe that's what we need, a left of center CBD oil or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Left of center. A left of center strain of weed.
Oh my god!
It helps you cope with our show.
Ridiculous. Yeah, please take it.
Before
They go
this
hand in
start,
hand.
please eat this gummy.
Now, see, John, if you would have added that to the list,
That's right.
it probably would have
Left
won.
of center gummy bear. There you go. THC gummy. And
I
you
think
take
if
it, and our
anybody
show
on
is
the
way
show is
funnier.
going to need it, it's going to
Lindsay,
be me.
we've successfully agreed. We've successfully got him off
This
the
is
thong.
another episode.
Dude,
you
I
guys
think-
have like a consistent tendency to traumatize me with every episode.
I think Lindsay was on.
It's especially when we're going
I
Commando.
think Lindsay ate a gummy bear before she walked in the studio. Remember how she started?
that
That would
is-
be illegal.
She's like, hey, what's
That
up?
is
She does seem
illegal
pretty
and
chill.
blasphemy and what is it? Slander.
Thank you,
Slander and libel.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Good job. It's not libel.
Well,
I'm looking
I'm
forward
sorry,
to
I'm
It's
Bernie.
definitely
lawyer.
slander.
I'm looking forward to Bernie too.
He's a great
and I've got a
speaker.
deposition to get to.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's wrap this thing up. And thanks to everybody that watched today. Please rate and review our show, and we will read them on the air. Do we have any mailbag, or are we done, John?
I think we're done.
Let's do mailbag.
We'll do
next
mailbag
time.
on Friday, okay? So rate and review our show, and we'll read off a couple of them on the air. Thanks to everybody for watching our great show. We went Commando today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Left of center. Take care, everybody.
See you.